All right, welcome back around the trash fire. Your host Matthias, along with the boy,
John.
back on schedule. Now that we don't
Back
have a vacation,
I know.
I miss it. I miss the day off.
I mean, day off is always it's always welcome, but it is okay.
I mean, I don't long for the 2 weeks vacation kind of deal like back in high school, but
Right,
I do miss the one day off occasionally.
right. 40 work week, man.
It'd be
Just do
nice, but productivity would be low, especially now.
it.
Well, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of
Indeed.
predictions to make.
Yes.
But the first thing we got are the new line of McFarlane toys. Not very interested to me, but it is interesting on what they picked here.
I think GW is turning into a toy company, so
I've heard that before. I think we talked about it once.
yeah, how dumb it is.
Yeah. But yeah, so we got the, your Primaris Space Marine, obvious.
Right. Can't have one without that.
And then we got Orcs, which, I mean, obviously they just had a big release, but
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting this, and looking at the paint jobs, kind of crappy. Not gonna lie.
I actually don't like any of the paint jobs. I mean, it's a toy. It's not going to be as good as miniatures of like the factory paint job.
Right.
But yeah, I agree. They're very poor.
Yeah, these are bad, in my opinion, but yeah,
Um,
there's nothing to add to that. They're just bad.
yeah.
They look terrible, which is
I will
probably
say the Tyrannid one, the unpainted one, looks really cool.
well.
The Giant Stealer.
It's a good thing they give you an unpainted one because you could probably paint something better.
Right.
I mean, well, technically the Tyranid doesn't look too bad, but
Interestingly, like people are saying they're gonna use this for like Demacrions as a counts as because they're sold out on Forge World right now. I mean, if it's the right size, like
why not?
why not?
It's a GW product, so it counts, right?
And yeah, I mean it's not made by GW, but neither is the dice technically not made by GW. They are outsourced the same way these are. So
Mm.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get any of these. I haven't gotten any in the past. I've been tempted to, but yeah, these would definitely be a hard no for me because they just. I know you can go for the unpainted, but I don't want to paint a giant figure.
right. Totally fair.
Yeah, nothing too surprising about this. We seem to get this every 3 months, every three
Yeah.
or 4 months now.
It's one of those things, Games Workshop does this a lot. And it's cool that it exists, it's just not for me. Like it doesn't hurt anyone, it doesn't pull away resources from making models. So yeah, I'm glad it exists, just not
It's
for me.
just a little side business,
Yep.
you know, to get a little bit of extra cash
Yeah. And
and promotion.
exposure.
Yeah, but a hard pass for me, probably a hard pass for you. So we can move on to our next subject, which is the Sunday preview. Get to see what we can pre-order for this week, which it's that giant vulture, which I know Will was very excited for.
Indeed.
So I'm sure he'll be picking one of these bad boys up.
Yeah. Very likely.
Gobspark, the mouth of
Yeah, the
Orc,
culture. There's also
the swamp
the um
boss.
the swamp boss. That's a super cool model. If I played that army, definitely would pick it up.
I also got the other what is this? Slogoth? Marsh
Oh,
crawler.
The golem looking thing.
Yeah. Did we see this?
Yeah, we saw this. You're talking about it.
I feel like we've seen this, but I feel like I haven't seen that model. I know we saw
No, we
something similar to this.
I think the angle was different. I remember it crawling in the opposite direction.
Okay. You say so. So we got that. The gut rippers finally being on their own. No more in the starter set.
Yep. And alternate sculpts
True.
or alternate weapons, I mean. So they have hand weapons now. But in AOS 2.0, I was reading reviews of the army books. I think the hand weapons give a bonus to wounding or something, but because in AOS 2.0, because of coherency rules and how restrictive they are, spears are probably the way to go still, just for that 2-inch range.
Did you mean 3.0 or?
Or sorry, 3.0, excuse me.
I
You're
was
right.
gonna
3.0.
say.
My bad. Thinking of Kill Team, which is technically 3.0, but people will say 2.0.
I see. We got that. We got the scenery kits, which
Yeah, those are neat. Those are super neat.
they're okay. Not appealing to me, but the lore
Yeah,
that Will provided was pretty interesting.
yeah. I also like how they're like relatively generic. So if you want to include them in 40k as like some it's being excavated, it doesn't seem out of place.
A little bit, but it's
Yeah.
fine. You could get away with it. And I guess the Age of Sigmar app is finally coming out.
Here we go. Hopefully it doesn't suck.
Hopefully, it doesn't only
Considering they,
work in Ohio like the 40k app did.
yeah, considering they killed the old one. Reminder that War Scroll Builder exists, which is a free official army building website for Age of Sigmar. So for all you AOS people, there is a free army builder available. Just look up War Scroll Builder. This is 110% official. It is on I think it's technically in Warhammer community.
Yep, in one of the
Uh,
old tabs.
yep, but yeah, just a reminder. But even if the apps will suck, at least we have a cool free army builder available.
Well, to pile on your reminder, if you have Warhammer Plus, you already have access to this.
Indeed, which I do. I totally forgot I had access to the 40k app. I should download that right now.
There you go. But yes, if you don't want to pay for the Warhammer Plus, War Scroll, it's the way to go. That's what I use. New from Forge World, we got the characters, the Inquisitor looking guy and some bounty hunter.
Yeah, these are kind of cool. I might I might pick them. I don't know. We'll see. They're kind of cool to have. Like that's a cool
You might
kill
pick
team
them up if they're
model.
only plastic.
Yeah, if they're plastic, I'll definitely grab them. Those seem awesome for kill team.
They would fit in with a guard army or
Yep.
Inquisitor force.
Yep.
And Black Library. Um, I don't know anything about this book, but we got another book coming.
Yeah, it's from a new author, which people have said good things about. So I don't know. I mean, I'm reading a lot right now, so I don't know if I could fit this into my schedule. Read my
Well, you need
backlog.
to read a book, and then you need to have a book on Audible, and then you listen to the book while reading another book. And
Actually, I'm doing that right now. I'm listening to the Garrow audio novel and reading some more Gotrek and Felix.
see,
It's
that's how you maximize your time.
there you go.
And then we got the Warhammer Plus that will be coming up on this Wednesday, which
Yes.
is Angels of Death and more. Looks like battle report and painting Sigmarines.
Yeah. It's cool.
That's that. So that's what we got to look forward to for this week's pre-order. So 2 weeks we'll be able to get all those cruel boys.
Interesting that there's no Stormcast at all.
Well, Stormcast was last week.
No, last week had both, had Stormcast and Cruel Boys. So it's interesting that they're
Oh,
only
true.
cast this. They're only doing Cruel Boys this week. I mean, I'm not complaining, Wah, right? But
Well,
it's fun.
GW only likes orcs, so
Yes, it's very true.
they're the poster boys. So
Kind of side note with Warhammer Plus. So they released a battle report recently with Orcs versus Blood Angels, and they had Louise Sugden's, one of the Twitch streamers, the Warhammer TV Twitch streamers, her army, and her orc 40k orc army, and it had a lot of conversions. They're super cool. I think she was using a bunch of savage orcs as like beast snaggers, and her weird boy was the Age of Sigmar savage orc shaman, like unconverted, and I thought that was super cool that Games Workshop is still supportive of conversions, because there's some people talking saying, oh, Games Workshop doesn't support conversions because it's not a model you can buy, blah blah blah. Well, here they are with an official battle report on their official streaming channel that has straight up, not even conversions, they're just like essentially, unflatteringly, you can call them proxies. I just call them accounts as, but um, yeah, there you go. Savage orcs in 40k with very little conversion.
well, I mean, they do care about conversions. It's just more of, is it 100% GW stuff they're using?
Right.
And I mean, the part where they care about is only if they notice third party stuff.
Right.
If you create it through green stuff or whatever material, they don't care.
Right.
As we proved through that one uh Warhammer World post they did a long time
Yep.
ago.
Exactly.
So they don't care about conversions really, except when they have to like present it on a show kind of deal
Right.
or have it in their store. Other than
Right.
that, they don't care.
I mean, we saw like a few weeks ago there was a War Community article that highlighted the winning armies of their official like Orlando tournament. And yeah, that makes sense why they would want it to be official, because they feature those armies on their website. So
Exactly.
yeah, not unsurprised that they would want it to be official.
Yeah. But moving on from the Sunday preview, we got Necromunda releasing for a new model Monday for us. We got some weird mecha thing that I would expect from the Tau, just
So
downgraded.
this was super cool when it was first teased like several years ago. As a what is it called? As a piece of art with rules in the first game compilation book, the Vansa Arachna rig, and it's finally getting a model. I will say it's disappointing. um, the pose just is really weird. They should have just like, it doesn't even like the art. So this art that they have is not the same art they have in the book, but it's cool. And I think if they just copy pasted the pose, I would love it. But I don't know, like there's something about the model that just looks kind of weird. The way that guy's legs are far back, I think it's trying to. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the pose. I like the design. I think it's super cool. Like it's super Tau, which is it's unique for Necromunda. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I hope there's different posing options. I don't think it's plastic.
I doubt
I
it's
think
plastic.
Yeah, I think it's resin. I could be wrong, right? They've been releasing random plastic stuff for Necro in the past few months, so I don't know, but hopefully it is.
Well, I'd hope everything would be plastic, but you can never tell with Forge World. Yeah, this model is I agree with you. The posing is definitely throwing it off. I don't. I think I would rather have it just like standing tall because
Yeah,
it just looks awkward.
right.
Um, Other than that, because I'm not too familiar with the lore, The Vansar are always just pushing the line of what should be a Necromunda, in my opinion.
I think that's their job.
I feel
I
like a lot of their stuff is just so does not fit with the hobos fighting each other over
it
lands.
is absolutely out there. Um, I mean, it is kind of grim dark. So their lore is that like their all their suits are like they emit radiation, so they're kind of cooking on the inside slowly. So like they all slowly all like every Van Sar will if they're not killed, they essentially like die of radiation poisoning. um, so I think that's a kind of little neat, neat quote unquote grim darkness that they have. But design wise, yeah, it's definitely out there.
Yeah, you can say
Like
that again.
yeah, like if guard had this, I would be thrown off for sure.
And pretty much any human race that had had this, I would be like, what?
Right.
I mean, you could maybe pass it off as like uh, a budgeted dreadnought. But other than that, you're really pushing it for little humans.
Mhm.
But there it is, finally here. I do like it with the fully loaded instead of with the cockpit guy exposed.
Yeah, with the helmet down, that's or the armor plating down, that's super cool.
Oh
I
yeah,
think the art's like that actually. So yeah, it's cool.
it's nice. It's just I just don't feel like it fits in Necromunda, but whatever, that's fine.
Totally fair. Again, that the vamps are right. That's their kind of uniqueness is they're pushing the limits
The hobo
of
warfare.
of the whole warfare, for lack of a better term.
And we also got another new model. Something I was not expecting. At least not for another month or two. A Warcry model.
That's Underworlds.
I mean, sorry, Underworlds.
Yeah, Underworlds bird. Oh, random. I agree.
I mean, we obviously know it's going to be Stormcast. I mean, because you can look at the eye of this bird, and it looks like a Stormcast and Slanesh thing.
I think it's not. I think that's the orc or the goblin from last time.
Oh, I mean, yeah, the Cruel Boys, right?
Oh, yeah. Which is consistent with how it's been. Like every time there's a new starter set, the Underworld season for that year always has the starter set factions in the starter set. So like that makes sense why that it's that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's cool. Glad that they kind of reminding people that Underworld, has a future, right? Because like
Well, I
that
think
game.
I think
Oh,
Underworlds it's fine. It's just the problem with Underworlds, and like it's not a major problem. It's just it's like a quarter one, quarter two game, right? And then
right,
quarter three and four don't see any other releases
right.
other than uh,
Like Arena
here's the
Wars.
box that you
Yeah,
can get of all the guys you want without the cards and whatever.
right.
And yeah, arena, I guess, to
And
help steady it out.
right, and I'm not a fan of those expansions. I think they're weird.
Yeah, but I was not expecting this. I was expecting Underworld news, like I said, in like a month or two, when they usually reveal this kind of stuff. So interesting to see this pop up.
Right.
What are you predicting for this Stormcast team? So we got a bird.
Um. So we see I think it's gonna have a guy or a girl with a sword that we see. It's gonna have someone with a bow and gonna have um either a spear or an annihilator. The really big guy, or it could be like a van. I don't know. I think they're all gonna have different weapons, which was the
Uh,
case for the first warband, but not the second one. The second one were kind of all armed the same except for the leader. But yeah, I hope this one. I mean, for me, like I don't like Underworlds warbands where more than one person is the same weapon as someone else. I like it when they just have like a Chaos Warrior with a halberd or then a Chaos Warrior with a shield, another one with two hand weapons. I think
Right.
that's way cooler than like two of the same guy. Even for like a warband that's like skeletons, like have a guy with a sword and a shield and another skeleton with an axe and a shield or something. It's a unique unit.
Well, you just
What
gotta,
is
make
unique.
them all unique poses and weapon loadouts, and if you can, some different designs. Skeletons
Right,
is a perfect example because you could be like, here's one with some armor on it. Here's one that's fully armored. Here's one coming out of the ground.
right, exactly.
It's all we really want from the game is the cool sculpts.
Yeah, and that's why that's what makes those models cool. Is that you could I mean you can still buy the first season models just to have like unique models. They make for good like unit fillers or like sergeants or something. So
Yeah, I'm predicting like 3 models for Stormcast here.
yeah, I think their teams have always had three, so definitely predicting three models.
No,
Orcs.
I'm just 3. So
So,
they're gonna have the bird, whatever this sword person is, and then the obliterator or whatever that big hulking guy with the shield is.
yeah.
That's it.
I totally forgot the bird was on this team. I just blanked out when I was thinking of the warband. Like, oh yeah, there's a bird. The bird is part like bird could be a cruel boy. Who knows?
I doubt it, but there we go. That is that for New Model Monday. Now, the big thing. Gen
Yes,
Con is this week.
Gen Con is happening. I forgot it existed.
I did too, but isn't Gen Con usually like earlier in the year?
I don't know.
Or am I thinking of it
I
something
kind of
else?
I think he may be thinking of that at Epicon. But yeah, I just kind of blanked out on what conventions or what. To be honest, after the pandemic started.
But yeah, we got Gen Con, and GW is actually gonna go to Gen Con and do some reveals, which correct me if I'm wrong, is the first time they're going back to their old format where they're not doing a Twitch reveal.
Oh gosh, you're right. That's super cool. Well, no, it's gonna be like the unless it's like the because it's held over oh actually. Um
It's from the 16th to the 19th, I believe.
did they say when they're revealing it? The specific day? Are they gonna do it between the 4 days?
If I had to guess, I think they're gonna. I think their day is the 7th. I think the 17th is when they're gonna reveal stuff.
Okay.
So speculation. I don't know. I can look at the article really fast here, but uh, going over a live stream that I was looking at, everyone was saying the 17th is when they're gonna reveal stuff.
Yeah. Let me see the schedule on Gen Con.
So while you look that up, we're getting
Yeah.
6 things. We're getting Warhammer 40k, obvious. Underworlds, Blood Bowl, Necromunda, Warcry, and Kill Team.
You wanna go down the prediction list?
Okay, sure. We'll start with 40k. So we
Black
gotta
easily.
say that again.
Black Templars. Range reveal. 100%. I will bet money it's gonna be Black Templars.
Well, I mean that makes
Also,
sense. They're coming out next week or
yeah,
month.
yeah, the silhouette also looks like a Black Templar.
Yeah,
The
so
double-
that's predicted to be a sword brother.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool. It'd be so cool.
Um, so yeah, I'm expecting it to just be the box set that they're gonna reveal. If rumors are true, I'm a little disappointed in what we're getting. Apparently, it's gonna be 13 models. It's gonna have neophytes, uh, a Grand Marshal, Emps Champ, and Primaris Dreadnought. I can't remember the name.
A new dread. I think yeah, I think they're gonna have like a close combat redemptor who just double close combat weapons or something.
Yeah. So I'm not too excited if that's actually what it's gonna be. I was kind of hoping for a bigger box, but
Yeah, I actually heard it was the rumor I heard was it is 5 sword brethren, 5 primaris dude like regular dudes. Black obviously Black Templar but regular dudes, 5 neophytes, Emperor Champion, Helmbrecht, Grimaldus, and the Redemptor, and a Marshal, and an Ancient.
Yeah. So
Something crazy is like 20 model box or something.
yeah, I heard 13. So we'll have to find out and see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Other than that, I don't expect 40k to get anything else. No, in terms of 40k, kill team, I'm expecting a lot. Because we already have the roadmap, so the only other thing they could reveal is
Or Kill Team
no for 40k.
or 40k.
The only thing they could reveal would be the armies in December.
They might do that. Side note: it's gonna be Friday 8 p.m. Eastern time. So
So 5 o'clock
yep.
Pacific time.
Yes.
Okay.
$2 to get in.
So yeah, it's gonna. That's the only other thing I could see them releasing or mentioning is just the next books in line. Since
Yeah,
they
I
don't have to
agree.
show off anything.
Yeah, I agree. I think they will reveal the codexes.
It'll be interesting to see. Underworlds. Well, I mean, we kind of already went over that.
Yeah, they're gonna reveal the starter set, and with a cruel boy bird.
True. 100%.
100%.
Yeah, because I doubt they're going to release a roadmap. That'll probably be in January like they did last time. But they could. I mean, they could just do the one with all the symbols on it, but
Yeah,
I think it would be a better roadmap if they did it in like January, giving them like 4 months to get that thing prepared.
right.
Blood Bowl, I don't care.
Hopefully whatever it is, it could be usable in AOS. Because actually, I was thinking of picking up the Blood Bowl Undead box just for like zombie variety. Because I need 10 zombies to have another unit of 20.
Mm-hmm.
But I like we don't like Blood Bowl, but I will admit Blood Bowl is really good at its job. Like if you like Blood Bowl is great. There's very few things to complain about,
Well,
in my opinion.
this is what I'll say about Blood Bowl. I don't like Blood Bowl because it doesn't appeal to me. But Blood Bowl is obviously doing something right because it's still around.
Right, they're still releasing stuff for it.
Exactly. I mean, we're on the third edition for that book, so
Yeah,
it's doing
yeah.
something right. Necromunda. We know that this is going to be a gang reveal.
Oh my gosh, if it's the new gang, that'd be so cool. Like the new unannounced gang that we don't know anything about other than all we know is it hasn't been revealed. Like it's not a rehash of anything. It's a completely new gang, kind of like the Chaos Cultists, and I guess the enforcers at some level.
Yeah,
Because you have them, right, the corpse grinders.
I do have the corpse grinders.
Yeah, like that never had any models before. Barely any mentions in the lore. They're straight up corn cult. So I hope it's something like that, something completely new and unique. Because again, with Necromunda, right, that's something they could kind of like how in Underworlds, it's new sculpts that take advantage of the 40k aesthetic and the plastic design technology. So that's gonna be super cool.
New sculpts, new weapon add-ons. You do a lot of cool stuff conversion wise
Yep.
with Necromunda stuff. Warcry. I don't know what to expect. What was the last Warcry news that we got?
The big one was Catacombs, and when they released the indexes for all the factions, which I think, like I mentioned before, like 90% of Age of Sigmar models that aren't cavalry monsters are in Warcry, which is super cool. I think that's awesome. Um, I'm gonna predict the next core set because right now there's no real core set for. I mean, yeah, there's catacombs, but it's kind of it doesn't. I don't think it captures the feel of Warcry of what Warcry is at its core, which is a 3-dimensional skirmish game with cool terrain. I think Capcom is awesome. I get what it's doing, but I don't think it's a good way to kind of present Warcry to new people. I think the first box set. I mean, it was the first one, so obviously it had to do its job. But I think that was a good way of presenting Warcry to newer people, having a ton of 3D terrain. Obviously, they're gonna have two, hopefully, new teams. I do hope they will reveal new war bands that we haven't seen before.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. So at the very least, even if they do something like Catacombs, which I would be slightly disappointed in, but not mad. At least I think they will for sure guarantee they will have two new war bands. I will be very disappointed if they just rebox some stuff with like a new scenario book or something. I really really wish they would just squiz them. Not wish. I'm expecting them to have new war bands, completely new war bands.
Well, when was Catacombs? That was 2020 or was that
It was
2021?
20. I was either early 20. I think it was 2020. To be honest, I think it was 2020.
I believe it. I do
Yeah,
remember picking it up, and I do remember playing a little bit of it.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
man,
great. It's been a while.
it's been a year or over a year since Warcry has seen any updates. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where like, I mean, it's a worthy discussion for another time. But like, what does it mean to have a complete game where the game is finished, where you've done everything, like the game has what it is doing its job, has everything. Like, is it done? You leave it. You make more stuff and add things for no reason. Blah blah blah. So
Yeah, well, we can definitely talk about that later. Before we get to Kill Team, I have a question for you.
yes,
Looking at the Gen Con banner here, the red model, 40K or AOS?
Blood Bowl. 40K. I think that's well, there's no AOS, so it could be Warcry. Oh my gosh, they could do like a human faction, like a free guild or like a cult of Zir or something. That would be super cool as a Warcry warband. Just have like generic humans.
Okay, just wanted your opinion.
Yeah, no, it's a good question.
It's a lot of debate on if that's a Sisters of Battle or not.
Yeah. I hope we'll Sister's got so much stuff, you know.
Yeah, well, going to Kill Team here, going by rumors I've heard. Rumor is it's gonna be two new Kill Teams. It's gonna be old, not new model or new armies, but new models. It's gonna be Sisters versus Tau, is what I heard.
That would be so weird. I hope that's wrong. I hope it's like Tyranids and Eldar or something. I hope it's like Octarius. Because I don't I think there's Tyranids not getting anything in Octarius is weird to me. So I hope they have like Tyranids. I mean, the rumor I heard was Eldar and Space Marines. Um, but
Yeah, but I mean, when you
I
look
really
at the top here,
right,
it's hard to
right.
deny that Sisters of Battle aren't getting something out of this.
I think Eldar are getting something. I really think that there's been slight hints that they're gonna push a new Ranger kit out soon. Um, so yeah. Yeah, Sisters and Tau. It's kind of
Sisters
random.
and Tau, that's the rumor that I've heard.
Possible. I mean, I heard Eldar and Space Marines, which is also not, no Tyranids there. Um, I really hope they do Tyranids. That would be awesome if they had a NID team.
Yeah, well, the rumor was also that the Sisters of Battle were going to be a brand new unit. So the question was, how are they going to implement that into 40K? And I'm just looking at this guy like, well, do the same thing with the Warcry model, so I don't see why they couldn't do the same thing with Kill Team models.
It's the same thing for commandos and guardsmen. Like they have 40k rules that reflect their options. So would not be surprised.
But going away from our rumors, what would you predict? Is Kill Team gonna show off?
The next box set. So terrain, a new campaign book like Octarius, and two brand new spanking teams. One of them being Tyranids because Octarius. The other, I don't care. I have a Tyranid one. I guess Gene Stealer's cult is acceptable, but hopefully a Tyranid one.
Okay.
What do
Yeah.
you say?
Um. See, this is where my inexperience of the lore comes into play, because I don't really know much about Octarius other than Tyranids were a part of it, and now GW is kind of just throwing everyone into Octarius.
So actually, I was reading the Octarius book, and the specific factions mentioned in Octarius. I actually have it in front of me. Let me grab it. Give me a sec.
Sure thing.
Um, so in the Octarius campaign book from the Kill Team box, there's a faction section, and it specifically mentions the following factions. It mentions the Imperium, so Space Marine Sisters, which is possible. It specifically mentions orcs. It specifically mentions Tyranids, Gene Stealer cults, Craft Worlds, and Dark Eldar. And it does not say anything. Well, in the initial paragraphs, they mention like, oh, Chaos exists and Tau exists, but they don't have a section, if that makes sense. Like there's a specific section that says, Drukhari, blah 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 blah. Craft Worlds, blah 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 blah. And the next page after these two pages are just the Death Court. So there's no section for Chaos, Tau, Necrons, which leads me to believe that we're gonna see something for those factions like Nids, Gene Stealers, Eldar, and Dark Eldar. So that's the only clues we have, uh, officially, I guess. I mean, ultimately a rumor, right? Like I'm extrapolating from a book, making
Well, I mean, it makes
base predictions,
sense.
but
I don't
yeah,
think we're gonna be moving out of Octarius anytime soon. At least not. I would say not until those armies get something.
right.
Maybe not all of them need to get a box set. I mean, it'd be nice, but
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
not all of them need to get a box set. But it would be good if that campaign book at least had more than Krieg
And
and
orcs.
orcs.
Yeah. No, I hope so too. And again, like I mentioned this before in the cast. This is their chance to redo an old kit, and two, have make a specific, kill team specific squad that's also playable in 40k.
Yeah, I mean,
So
again, just like Warcry, you just import those rules over to 40k.
right.
And I mean, unless they're doing it thematically wise, these guys would never be in the main competitive army or anything. So
Commandos are. But they are naked, like no upgrades. Maybe the ram for extra melee punch. But yeah, you don't have the radio guy or the flamer or whatever. You just have 10 commandos.
yeah,
um
they're usually very very underpowered,
yeah, I mean,
but
I
they're
mean,
usually cheap.
yeah, slight tangent, but yeah, like exactly, they're cheap, they infiltrate. They're a good way of getting board presence early because they literally just infiltrate 9 inches away, and they I think they get +2 armor when they're in cover, so they're like a 3-up save in cover. Um, but yeah, they don't hurt as, I mean, they have the same melee output as boys, so, but they're cheap, and they infiltrate.
Now works well for orcs.
Yep. But yeah, like to push on what I said earlier, yeah, absolutely. Like the special stuff they get isn't really seen. It's not competitive. You don't have a commando squad with a flamer, a rocket, and like the shock pistol, and the custom shooter, because I mean that's for kill team, right?
Right. I had a question for you. Since
Yeah.
you have um both the book and the kill team. Are they in your book?
Yes, the orcs and the guardsmen, the veteran guardsmen. I don't want to say death corps because the rules, nothing in the rules says they're death corps. They actually have the regiment keyword, so they can be any regiment. But yeah, they have the full rules in the book. Now they are only in the book; they're not in the compendium.
No, no, no,
Um,
no, no. I mean, are they in your or codex?
oh, the commandos.
Yes.
Yes, actually, yeah, there are no 40k rules at all in the kill team. It is all in the codex, and the codex has the options for the kill team box, the
Okay.
kill team squad. So
So
you
there's
can get
no section for. I'm just gonna make up a name here. Crooks Commandos.
correct. Yep, that's right. It is just generic commando squad.
Got it. Okay. See, I was saying like how you could take a Warcry team and then put them in your army. Yeah, you know, your AOS army, right? That's what I was talking about.
Right? No, no, no. It is like the 40k entry feels like a 40k entry. It doesn't feel like a character unit, which a lot of the Warcry warbands feel like, and especially the Underworlds warbands are just straight up character units, and most of them are terrible. But
True.
yeah, like the make they make gold. I will say the the Underworlds guys make good alternate sculpts for generic characters. But yeah, the commandos and the I'm pretty sure there's a vet. I mean, I don't play guard, but I'm pretty sure there's a vet guardsman squad you could take in Astra Militarum. So yeah, and I'm sure whatever 40k new 40k units they'll have will or kill team stuff they'll have will have 40k rules.
Yeah. Well, we can only hope for the best here, and we'll have to see which one of our rumors is right. Craft World
Well,
versus Space Marines or Sisters versus Tau.
I hope we're wrong. It's Tyranids and whatever. I really wanna see what a Tyranid kill team looks like because Tyranids aren't very well known for having a 10-man squad with different war gear. You got like your grizzled Hormagaunt with like the severed arm, and then you got your medic Gene Stealer with like a bag full of acid that he heals his friend. I don't know. Really curious what that Tyranid kill team will look like.
Yeah, I don't know either. But that is all the 40k. Sorry, that's all the Warhammer news. You have presented us with some Star Wars.
Yeah, speaking of Gen Con, this was their Gen Con reveal, early reveal for Atomic Mass Games, which are the guys who make the Star Wars miniature games.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have the video play in the background while we talk, and
Yeah.
so I'm excited. I'm got a bunch of stuff here that I don't even know. A bunch of alien
Yeah.
races.
So this is a new faction, which is essentially scum and villainy, so like bounty hunters, criminals. The faction name they use is Shadow Collective, which is from I believe the Clone Wars show or the Rebel show or both, where Darth Maul um he essentially becomes a lord of a criminal empire, and this is it. So we got some aliens here. We got some Mandalorians. I forgot what they're called, but they're the ones that work specifically for Darth Maul. So they got like the Darth Maul inspired armor, the paint job, and yeah, a bunch of new units. Interestingly, the a lot of these guys are gonna be mercenaries, so you could include them in other factions.
Oh,
So
well, that's a little disappointing. I thought they were gonna be in whole army, like you said.
no, they're actually they will have they're introducing these things called, let me pull up the Facebook post that one of the mods posted about. Oh, here we go. Um so they're introducing this thing called battle forces, which essentially for the 40k people, they're formations, and they allow you to build an army it's restricted, right? Like for example, you may have an empire. Let's say you have a Hoth Empire battle force, so you can only get snow troopers and EWEB, ATST, blah blah blah. Maybe some stormtroopers. I don't know, but no death troopers, no scouts. But if you do that, you get different command cards to use. That's what they kind of mentioned. And the mercenary guys, the Shadow Collective, they're gonna be this kind of faction. I think this is kind of neat for the mercenaries because having just a uh a blanket mercenary faction that could be too big in the same way there's no Xenos faction in 40k, right? I mean, there's you could say that. I mean, like Eldar are defined as Xenos, the same as Orcs are, but you can't have a Xenos army with Orcs and Eldar. And I think with the mercenaries, they're trying to have that. They're trying to avoid that, having a mercenary army with all the mercenaries. I think they're allowing you to have mercenaries in your existing armies, and they're having these battle forces or the formations to allow specific mercenary armies. So maybe the Shadow Collective battle force or formation. You have only the Shadow Collective, only the mercenaries that fall for Darth Maul. You're not gonna have the other stuff. Because there's different kinds of Star Wars is a big universe. There's a lot of different mercenary groups and criminal groups, and not all of them work for Darth Maul. So that's how they kind of get around that
Hmm.
kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I think one of the pictures I showed was like Boba Fett, like Mandalorian Boba Fett. Like that's a good example of he's probably gonna be a mercenary, but he's not gonna be part of Darth Maul's faction kind of thing.
Got it.
Um,
Okay.
we got a new Darth Maul model. This is the second time or the third time since the game launched where we got a resculpt or a new unit type of an existing unit. Before we had initially we had episode 5 Luke and episode 4 and 5. Actually, we had episode 5 Luke and Darth Vader, and then they released episode 6 Luke and I think comics Darth Vader when he just, I think it's post episode 3 when he first starts to just, murder Jedi and he's not as powerful yet.
Hmm.
So they released rules for that. So this is kind of cool. They're releasing, Darth because Darth Maul, he's not always a Sith Lord. He becomes again a criminal overlord, and kind of cool that they're releasing a model that represents that and the faction that he goes along with.
Well, that's cool. And they're showing this at Gen Con?
Yeah, they had this their own kind of streaming event, which was it's not technically a Gen Con. It's kind of they had it like before last week, which is before Gen Con. But they're kind of capitalizing on that season of like people, being excited about miniature games.
All right. Well, of course. I mean, Gen Con is, as my friends call it, the mecca of tabletop games, so.
Oh, there you go.
Or board gaming, I should say. Yeah, everyone's got to make a trip to the Holy Land at least once.
One day.
But, it's like Indiana, so it's probably humid right now, so.
Absolutely.
And then, because it wasn't in the video, because it wasn't in the video, you also gave us X-Wing, which is interesting because I thought they weren't focusing on models.
Yeah, this was a cool new reveal because this is the ship from the Mandalorian. So the big deal because the Mandalorian is widely praised as like revitalizing Star Wars after the divisive sequels. So it's kind of cool that we're seeing, his iconic ship as in X-Wing. And X-Wing's getting a lot of changes. They're I mean, I play X-Wing a bit. And yeah, they introduced a lot of new changes. Like there's no more. So in X-Wing, if you have lower points, you get like you essentially get turn advantage. So you get to pick second turn or first turn, blah blah blah. And they're removing that because before when you build a list, you're like, okay, how many points am I gonna be under so I could get that turn advantage, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're removing that. They're adding a round limit because X-Wing is pretty fast paced, so there's no round limit. Um,
Right. I played X-Wing.
There we go. Right. So they're adding a round limit, which, on those two changes have caused a big uproar in the community. People are debating whether it's good or a bad thing. Um, they mentioned they're introducing a new campaign pack for X-Wing, which I'm excited for. I love that narrative play stuff, so I think that's super cool. And yeah, it's just a cool reminder that the game is still being supported. I mean, I pre-ordered some X-Wing stuff. It's coming in this week, so the game is still getting stuff, which is super cool.
Well, I mean, this is what we pretty much said, right? Unless was the news that we broke last week, was that strictly um what
Armada.
was that strictly Armada or is that
That was just Armada,
Oh,
and
okay.
then Armada was announced. They announced that it's Armada is not getting anything new for 2022, I believe. They're just gonna focus on restocking current models.
Okay, yeah. Then never mind. Forget what I was gonna say.
Oh, what are you gonna say?
I was gonna say that I figured they were just gonna release like little models here and there for the games, but that was Armada and not X-Wing, so completely
Yeah,
different.
yeah. X-Wing's still getting support, and it's kind of cool because the X-Wing releases have been very dry. I mean, like my faction, I play First Order. We got like two ships this year, or two releases, in the whole year. So we got like a transport ship, and then we got like a squadron pack, which I picked up. So it's pretty dry, but I'm glad that they're reminding us that, hey, like, you guys are still getting stuff, and we're getting Mandalorian stuff. It's a big deal in the Star Wars community. So I think that's super cool.
Well, they're so like limited on what they could put in the game, right?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you're gonna run out of ideas of like there's only so many Star Wars ships. Um,
I mean, they're basically at this point creatively they're just waiting on the movies to introduce cool ships to steal.
exactly. Like, in my First Order faction, there's like one more ship that they haven't had a model for yet from Episode 9, and that's it. That everything else is a model. So I don't know what else they could do.
Yeah, well, from what I played with X-Wing, I mean, X-Wing's a fun game. I liked X-Wing. I just had the lucky privilege that my friends were huge Star Wars fans, so they bought a lot of that stuff, so I didn't have to buy an army or anything. Not that, you really need that many ships. It's more the cards you need for the game.
Yeah, but I mean, if you play casually, people, are fine with just having a digital copy of your cards. Obviously, if you play in a tournament, you want the real thing. But yeah, like, X-Wing is super. X-Wing is a great game. It's super cheap. Like, you could get into the game for less than $100. Uh,
Just buy the two-player starter, really.
yeah, and they actually have released new starter sets, like faction starter sets for X-Wing.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah, they like, if you play like Rebels, there's like a Rebel pack. It has like three ships. And you could play X-Wing with three ships. If you run like a super elite ace squadron, you could definitely run three ships. And people win with three ships. They win tournaments with three ships. People win tournaments with eight ships. So very possible to play the game with as few models as possible. And they're fully painted. No, no hobby required. With some people they like the hobby, but hey, some people repaint their ships, so that's an option. But that's one of the main appeals for me with X-Wing is that the models are done. I don't have to hobby with them. Like, I bought some new stuff that's coming in, and all I have to do is put them in my carrying case, and they're good to go. Don't need to paint them. Don't need to put them together.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for how long it's been, I just used to do TIE fighter spam. I don't know if that's still good or not, but it was like
Uh,
3 years ago.
it's still a thing, but it's I think TIE Fighter spam is out. I think droid spam just beats TIE Fighter spam because they're cheaper because they release droids in the game.
Yeah.
So you just have a
Droids weren't in the game when I was playing.
right, yeah, and actually a new edition. Droids came in like a month before I started. Super new faction,
Hmm.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, there we go.
any more news? Oh, speaking of the battle forces I was talking about earlier, they're actually releasing new starter sets for Legion, and these are all going to be single faction starter sets. So they're going to be cheaper than the current starter sets, but they're only going to have one faction.
Oh well,
Yeah.
that's what I would prefer. I wouldn't want to buy a two-player starter box because I don't care about the other squad or other side.
Right. And I think that's awesome. I mean, they did that for Armada and X-Wing, so I think it's cool they're doing that for Legion. They mentioned so the new yearly errata is coming out, so that's super cool. And they're doing a lot of changes with units, like Boba Fett and some other dudes are getting new cards. Darth Vader is getting a huge rework, so news for you. He's getting a huge buff.
Well, I
Like
don't
they're
have I don't have Vader unfortunately, but
well,
I could go pick him up.
pick him up for like $15 because as Legion,
Well,
cheaper models.
maybe we'll say that.
Yeah, but yeah, he's getting a new well, an errata to his command card, so he gets more abilities and all that. So pretty exciting, pretty exciting.
Cool.
And they announced that Mandalorian stuff is gonna be in Legion. So like Mando, IG-11, the Dark Troopers, all gonna be. Ahsoka is getting a model as well. So Ahsoka fans, I guess she's gonna be in Legion.
There you go. All right then. Well, we can go into hobby rants then. After that big news.
You wanna go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. So I looked at my Kickstarter
Oh,
because I like to visit my Kickstarter every once in a while to look at all the angry comments on why my product hasn't been shipped yet.
of course, classic.
I mean, that's the risk you take with Kickstarter.
Right.
And so this is Shadows of Brimstone, Vikings and Conquistadors edition. And I pleasantly surprised they actually gave an update.
Whoa.
I know. All right, to be fair, Flying Frog, the company that makes Shadows of Brimstone, they do communicate. Excuse me. But what pisses everyone off is that they don't communicate on Kickstarter. You usually have to go catch a live stream on Facebook. And that's what pisses everyone off about the communication.
That's actually something the new guys who publish the Star Wars games do now. It's like none of this stuff that we talked about is on their website. It's all on Facebook.
Yeah. So I
No,
mean, they do a good job because I mean, it's a live stream that they do, so they're interactive with the chat and stuff, which is nice. So they do a good job. They don't update as frequently as I'd like, but they do update us. But as predicted, given world events, yeah, I'm not. It looks like I'm not getting my Kickstarter this year. Darn.
there you go. Darn.
I'm See, if this was like a no-name company that I've never done business with, I'd probably be upset. But since I know this company and their history, I'm gonna get my product eventually.
Right.
I'm not. I mean, I want to play like right now, but I can wait. I still got a lot of other stuff I need to work on. So
Right.
yeah, it was just sad to see that it's because all their factories are in China
Oh,
for
there you go.
for obvious cheap labor. Uh, I read it. They gave a very detailed explanation on why we're not going to be able to get our stuff. There's like
That's good.
shipping crates are very limited right now. Then you gotta get a ship. Then you gotta get the drivers and all that other stuff. And
Right.
the cost for shipping from China to America has apparently it was either like doubled or tripled in price. So instead of like 4,000 $8,000, it went to like $30,000 to ship over.
That's
So they're like, yeah, we're not gonna do that. So unfortunately, they're predicting Q2 of next year because if you've ever done anything through China during early year, they got that Chinese festival going on. So
Lunar New Year. Yep. So lots of vacation time.
yeah. So sad news. I didn't read all the angry comments because you know, I don't need that negative vibe
Right.
after getting the bad news, but that's that. So I'll see that in what, April? Maybe.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
If I'm lucky. But other than that, hobby news wise, haven't done too much hobbying. I'm kind of in a slump. You did pique my interest. You got me really excited when you invited me to that doubles tournament.
Oh yeah. That should be fun whenever that Dude, honestly, like I can realistically play when I have my orcs.
I know,
um, so
but the funny story being that he interests me, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna sit down, paint up my Thousand Suns. Hopefully, I can get it done by Friday. And he's like, oh no, I don't have my orcs yet done. Right, I'm not. I don't have my orcs built yet. I just got them. Who
I
knows when
have
we're actually gonna do the double thing? I'm like, oh,
10 commandos.
shot my hopes down the drain right there. Just so that was my interest went back down. So
Oh,
now that I don't have to rush my hobbying.
it's okay. It'll all come back soon once I actually get my orcs and we have a date for the tournament.
True, but I'm looking forward to that. Um, and then I played AOS for the
Nice.
first time in like I don't know. I want to say 2 months.
Hmm.
Whew, interesting stuff. Uh, question for you that came
Yes.
up during our game. Can you stack buffs, i.e., command abilities, heroic abilities?
I,
Example being, I want to mess up on the name here. Heroic action being finest hour, I want to say, and doing that during the heroic phase, which gives you +1 to your save, +1 to wound,
right.
and then in the combat phase, doing all out defense, which gives you another +1 to your save. Can you do something like that? Because the rule says you can't do an action, one of those actions in the same phase. So you're limited to one, but you can.
So because heroic actions are not a command ability, they stack.
Okay, that's what we figured, but we couldn't find anything where. Because one of the arguments was you can't stack positives, right? So you couldn't
Right.
go further, which I think he was confusing with a 40k rule, but I didn't know because I wasn't too familiar with it. So,
Which is fair. Yeah. No. Yeah. Heroic actions are not command abilities. They're a new thing they introduced. And yeah, they are not command abilities.
all right, cool. So yeah, we did like we did Daughters of Cain with Sigmarines. It was 2-on-2 battle, 1,000 points each, versus Slaves of Darkness and Cruel Boys.
Oh, nice.
Unfortunately, the order lost. Got overwhelmed by the Kendra rider.
Oh, the Chaos Lord, right?
Yeah,
It's okay. He's cool.
yeah. Well, I mean, when you give him like all out defense, I mean that guy's a monster to kill. So
Yep. Yep. And heroic actions as well.
yeah. Also, that healing action is just insane.
Oh yeah, the heroic healing. Yeah, that's why AOS 3.0 has been billed as like the return of Hero Hammer because of stuff like that. I mean Morathi, is one of the most powerful heroes right now, so more
Yeah,
reason
but I
to
can't
offer.
justify taking Marathi in a 1,000 point game.
Just take her, like, and be like, kill me.
I did that with a lady owner. You know, ooh, they did not like that. But yeah, that was basically it.
Nice.
Probably do a 40k game this Wednesday, and then the rest of this week I plan on actually hobbying. Now that things have calmed down.
That's good.
Yeah. What about you?
So I'm almost finishing my orcs, my commandos kill team. I'm actually putting the finishing touches on the extra commando right now that I got. Some of the limited edition orc models, and I'm just gonna use him as a slugger boy or regular commando boy. But as for the rest of the team, I'm probably gonna go to a game store maybe tonight or tomorrow and pick up some tundra grass and then add some snow and then call it done for them. We're
Just
actually gonna have oh, what's up?
Just go to your neighbor's lawn, steal some grass. Just
Just mow some lawn, mow the lawn, steal some grass. Um, actually, this weekend we have a hobby. One of our gaming group guys who moved to Montana is visiting, so we're gonna have a kill team day. So
oh,
that should be fun.
nice.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of kill team, I actually wrote a Reddit article on which kill teams can be played with one box. And I don't know if surprisingly and surprisingly, I think depending on how you see kill team, but most of them, yes, you can play with one box. I think the only factions where you can't are Tyranids, um, there's another one, Necrons. You cannot play with one box, and I think that Gene Stealer cults you cannot play with one box. The rest you could use one box. Now, two caveats: Skitari are worded weird. Because the way it's worded is you have your two fire teams of 5 Skitari, and on top of those two you add a leader, so you have 11 models. Um, and the box just comes with 10.
Uh-huh.
But you actually don't need. Fun fact: you actually don't need a leader in kill team. You just lose out an extra command point at the beginning of the game. And a bunch of other leader abilities that if you have a stratagem that says leader, well, you can't use it because you have no leader.
True.
But yeah, you actually don't need a leader, so you could actually run a 10-man Skitari team with one box and have no leader. And technically, for Imperial Guard, you cannot play. So there's 3 Imperial Guard kill teams. There's the regular Guardsmen, which you cannot play with one box because you need 14 models minimum. There's the Scions kill team, which you need 10 Scions, so you need 2 boxes. But if you can get the rules to the veteran Guardsmen, excuse me, you could run a veteran Guardsman kill team, which right now is only found in the Octarius book, but you could run them with just a single box of Acadians. So it's definitely playable with one box. Oh, I forgot another faction. Demons you cannot play with one box because you need like 14 models minimum. But for the most part, kill team is obviously Space Marines you could play with one box because they're the elite. But yeah, you could kill team if you have the compendium, a copy of the compendium, you have the rules, and you have a box. You could play kill team.
Well, that's good to know. I've yet to play Kill Team though.
Yeah, I'm been busy these days with work managing coronavirus with students at a high school. So
Yeah, that's
um
just the way.
it's not bad. It's just the logistics of making sure everyone is cleared, and is tested or vaccinated and all that. It's a lot of work, but I mean I enjoy it. So, but it does mean less hobby and game time. I actually haven't played any games at all last week. I just spent cards some time now working on my commandos. But yeah, they're gonna be done soon, so that's gonna be exciting.
Hey
Wonder
man,
what else.
just getting some hobbying done is enough an accomplishment.
Indeed.
Oh yeah, well, I think that's a good place to stop. Any final thoughts before we sign off?
I really hope Tyranid Kill Team happens. I just want like a medic with just again like a bloated sack of just like tyrannic like 2 more cells or something that heal each other. I don't know. That's an actual quote from the alternate codex where they have like digestion pools. So I hope that's happening. Really excited to see what kind of Tyranid kill team they're gonna come out with. So come on, Games Workshop, don't disappoint me.
Sisters vs. Tau.
Oh my sisters, it's so random. Could be right though.
I hope the rumor's wrong.
Yes. Either way, here's the thing. Either way, Black Templars are gonna be super cool.
I hope. I hope so much. All right then. Well, for everyone who made it to the end, thank you for staying, and we'll catch you all next week. Goodbye.
Later, everyone.